I start with the Monday's attack on Polish railway track, which highlights the unprecedented risk to European transport infrastructure. We propose a new EU-wide emergency mechanism that allows member states to relax the rules when armed forces need to be moved rapidly across the borders.
Transform defence and learn from Ukraine in order to transform. Those are two key messages of the communication.
Today's military mobility package marks a decisive step in strengthening Europe's ability to respond to any security crisis or threat. Because the time to prepare is not when the crisis hits, it is now.
The European Commission has unveiled a sweeping new defense package aimed at transforming Europe's defense industry and creating a so-called military Schengen to move troops and equipment across the EU in days rather than weeks. The package includes an EU defense industry transformation roadmap, a joint communication on military mobility, and a draft regulation to harmonize rules for transporting military equipment, goods, and personnel across the Union.
I start with the Monday's attack on Polish railway track, which highlights the unprecedented risk to European transport infrastructure. Russia's attacks have become increasingly brazen. Our critical infrastructure needs more protection. The fast movement of Europe's militaries is essential for European defence. We have to ensure that forces can be in the right place and at the right time. Swift movement depends on many factors. Can our roads, tunnels, bridges bear the weight? Are there enough designated routes for the military movements? Do we have enough flatbed rail carriages? And what paperwork do we still have to fill when you want to cross border for training or in case of crisis? It is quite simple. The faster we can move forces, the stronger our deterrence and defence. We need to be talking about days, not weeks, to move troops in Europe. Some countries still require 45 days notice before other countries' troops can pass through their for exercises, for example. 11 years after Russia annexed Crimea, this is simply not good enough. The European Defence Agency has already identified the solutions to harmonise border crossing procedures, including customs, formalities, the rules on transporting dangerous goods. But we need to do more. So today, as Henna already said, we are proposing a range of improvements. First, we need to reduce administrative barriers. For that, we propose a new EU-wide emergency mechanism that allows member states to relax the rules when armed forces need to be moved rapidly across the borders. We also propose the national military transport coordinators are assigned in each member state. Second, funding. The Commission proposal for the next multi-annual budget foresees €17 billion investment for dual-use transport infrastructure. This goes together with the 1.5% of GDP spending that NATO allies pledged for security-related investments. Investing in infrastructure is crucial. If a bridge cannot carry a 60-ton tank, we have a problem. If a runway is too short for a cargo plane, we cannot resupply our troops. EU military mobility does not duplicate NATO's efforts. On the contrary, it underpins NATO's defence plans. As we flagged in the White Paper, we also want to extend the military mobility corridors into Ukraine. This would be a security guarantee, meaning we could deliver faster support if needed. Military mobility is a critical insurance policy for European security. You hope you never have to use it full capacity, but having it ready ensures more credible deterrence and defence.
What Kaya have said, about 45 days, so that's really what we cannot accept, to allow ourselves to have such a luxury. And we need to speak about minutes and hours, not weeks and months as till now. So what we are proposing, very briefly, just to stress some very important points. Very big change that we are coming this time on military mobility with regulation. Not communication, not some kind of plans, but with regulation as a legal instrument, which means that we are harmonizing and streamlining military transport rules with regulation, which moves from 27 national procedures of permits to one single union procedure, and resolving other challenges related with military transportation. Second, really, we are introducing important, regulation on emergency framework, how military mobility and if different institutions should work during some kind of crisis, and with automatic permits and priority access to rail and air military transport. Very important is that we are introducing also pooling and sharing capabilities to address the gaps of availability of transport capabilities like wagon, flatbeds, trucks, heavy airlift. Regulation establishes a solidarity pool. The aim is to voluntarily share key dual-use mobility capacities. They can be national, public, in advance contracted from civilian transport providers or procured by Commission, and it will be managed using Commission experience in management of assets to mitigate any kind of crisis. And, of course, also the fourth is that we are ensuring readiness of dual-use infrastructure and its resilience, which regulation will put forward an obligation and a resilience toolbox to identify, upgrade, protect and defend strategic dual-use infrastructure. And the last point is we are also introducing governance and coordinating mechanism with establishment of cross-institutional military mobility transport group and national coordinators, and also we're introducing annual military transport readiness check and stress test, and the first one would be the stress test exactly on ensuring fast movements of military assistance towards Ukraine and the Union's eastern borders. So that is about military mobility. Now a few words on defense industry transformation roadmap. Transform defense and learn from Ukraine in order to transform. Those are two key messages of the communication. And transform not only supply side, it means industry and production, but also the demand side by changing the understanding of modern warfare doctrine and what is needed on the modern battlefield. Attention should be paid not only to transformation of technologies, but also to creation of transformative ecosystems when research and development and innovation, industrial development and production, military testing and feedback from the front line, everything acting in the same loop of defense ecosystem. Again, that is what we need to learn from Ukraine. And disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence, quantum, are needed for our material defense readiness. That's very clear. But systemic disruption also is needed in our defense industrial processes, from development to production and procurement. And disruption is needed in industry and government or military relationship. So defense industry transformation roadmap sets the conditions for new ways of engaging with the defense industry, with new defense players, and also puts the way how to accelerate its transformation. There are key areas which are covered by 14 concrete actions. I will not go item by item, but I will stress just those key areas. The first one is really supporting the full investment journey of new defense firms, and especially in late-stage funding for startups, we have a real problem when 60% of capital comes from outside of European Union for those companies, especially from the United States, and we are losing those startups for Europe. So therefore, we are proposing to launch on defense-focused €1 billion fund of funds together with the European Investment Bank, repeating some kind of good experience what we did with similar initiatives a little bit earlier. Second, really what is very important also is to accelerate time to market of defense technologies, and that is where we are coming with new pilot instrument, what we call Agile, It will demand additional regulation later on, which we will present, but this new instrument, we are planning that it will enable to develop new solutions aligned with military needs within 6 to 12 months, and Agile would be designed to support single companies to develop low-cost production in a very rapid manner, with lots of iterations with armed forces, and something like we can call DARPA style, American Defense Agency DARPA style. So other 12 actions are covering remaining 2 groups, which we can call improving access to contracts and broaden the pipeline of innovative defense solutions. Again, there are very concrete proposals what we need to do. And the 4th group is ensuring that Europe has the skills and talent to maintain its technological edge. Again, looking into our very concrete steps which we need to implement in order to have skills for new defense industrial developments. Transformation in defense is key and is the only way towards strong European defense ecosystems that will ensure credible defense readiness and deterrence ready for the wars of tomorrow.